Second. 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 1 second. 1 second. Okay. All right. So I had to come on here, right? I had to come on here, and because I was talking to some, I was actually at a Walmart. I was at a Walmart, and I was talking to a guy from well, actually, one of them he had a trainee with him, and the trainee had actually went to Warner. He went to Warner for a while, and then that didn't work out, so he ended up going to going to Swift. And so I was asking him, like the difference in pay, was Warner better? Because a lot of people that's drive for a while or has been driving, I always say that Warner, Swift compared to Warner is a big difference. But as far as cents per mile, whether you want a dedicated or a regular route, put my hat on. Whether you're on a dedicated or a regular route, it all depends. But, and I looked before I got on here, I actually wanted to look. I wanted to look and see for myself. It seems like both of those companies have lessened the amount they give for their drivers. They have lessened that amount. I remember when I know the economy seemed like the economy as years go by, right? As years go by and things get higher in price, the pay should increase too. But with these two companies, both of them, and I know if I were to get a job with either one of the companies, but the odds of that is happening, it's kind of like slim because of what I'm saying, right? But anyway, the rate per hour, per mile, not per hour, but per mile is going down. It's like from when I got my CDL license, when I started with Swift, it was like 67 cent, 67 cent per mile. What you say? Okay, yeah. But anyway, when I started, it was like 60-something cent per mile, right? That's a couple of years ago, and now the start is 53. So I'm like, I was talking to him, I'm asking him, and they were fine with that. Those guys, were cool with that, because like I said, one of them came from Warner, one of them came from one of them was Swift, and they were driving together, but they were cool with that. But like I say, if it started at that price back then, and you look at it now, and it's like it's less, and I don't understand how things are going backwards. It should be more per mile than it is. I guess you got more. They have more students. They're paying out more money for people to go to school, and so because those are the premier. And not only that, they can afford, why they can afford to do that, because they merged with Knight and they bought a whole bunch of other companies, so they can afford to pay drivers less. Pay drivers because they got so many students, and if you got new students too, insurance is kind of high, and accidents. So I understand that, but at the same time, they're making money. They're not losing money. We're making money hand over fist. So, you know, what are y'all thoughts on that? I don't know. I don't know where the trucking industry is going. You know, AI is taking over. People are losing their jobs and stuff like that. But you know, I think it'll be a while before they can actually control the way a truck runs and how it runs. So maybe, I don't know. I don't want to estimate, but if I was on guess, I would say within the next 10 years, maybe. You know, maybe sooner than that, they'll have AI taking over trucking jobs too. You know, they can be able to deliver stuff with AI inside the truck. They may have somebody sitting in the back to monitor, but you know, it's coming. You know, you see Walmart. I said it yesterday that Walmart has a freeze. It has a freeze on hiring and stuff like that. So you know, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time, and you know, whether you go with Swift, whether you go with Nye or any other company, you have to know that unless you got some family members, some friends with their own truck, you're not going to be able to get a job with a company. No company's going to hire you without a certain amount of years of experience for that. Some say 2, some say 3, depending on the company you go with. You know, some local companies won't hire you unless you got that amount of time driving a truck. So you gotta eat that. You gotta eat that whatever they pay, whatever the company paying. Like I say, Swift, Knight, like between 50 to 60 cents to start per mile. And like I say, when I started, it was like 67. So they went down since then. That was a couple of years ago, and it's sad. You know, it's sad. But like I said, they gotta make their money. But I know they're making money hand over fist. But you know, and plus they taking a chance on every new driver they hire. They're taking a chance. So, you know, the time, they're giving you a chance to drive, and you really haven't driven over the road, and they give you a chance to do all that stuff. Because 4 weeks, if it's longer for you, 6 weeks, it's not enough time. You know, even if you have a good trainer. Like, I didn't have a good trainer. You know, I say that all the time. I had to figure stuff out on my own, but I was blessed. I was blessed because when I started, I go to the road. If I had an issue, any kind of issue I had, I was able to ask, and those drivers, no matter where I was at. So some drivers are rude. Some drivers, you know, what I mean, like, you know how it is. But some areas, some drivers are, like, I actually got in a fight when I was over the road. I said that before in my other videos, but you know, for the most part, like I said, 80%, 75%. For the most part, those drivers, if I got into an issue over the road, those veteran drivers, they looked out to help. And if I needed something, they'll tell me, they'll give me advice about certain things. Or, you know, if I was stuck on something. But one time when I first started, I was in Richmond, and the guy is a veteran, and he told me, that's why I say you should, no matter what people say, no matter what somebody tell you when you're backing up to a dock or something, anything, and people guide you in, make sure you go out and look, because this guy, I just started, and I was, like I said, Richmond, and he's telling me to back. Come on back. Back up. Back. But yeah, it was telling me to back up. I can't really see. I need my specs. But yeah, he was telling me back. Come on back. And the door, he didn't tell me that the door was open. The trailer door had flew open, and so I'm backing back, and one of the doors have flown open, and I didn't see it. I didn't, because I'm looking at him, and not gauging both sides. And so when I got back this side, and that wasn't on him, that was on me because I'm the driver. But back, and I hit the back of the trailer, door flew off. So I ended up getting unloaded. Luckily that I got unloaded, and I was not too far from the terminal. That's a good thing about Swift terminals everywhere. So I wasn't too far from the terminal, So I took the the door in there, and I called my driver to tell him what happened, and I told the terminal what happened, and they told me just to park the trailer and tell them where the trailer was at. Once I parked it, and put it in the slot, and park it away from everything, park it away where the damage trailers were at, and park it away from everything, and that was it. But they didn't tell me then, but they told me I found out later on that I tried to go to do a dedicated route. They told me, well, no, you got this accident, and they didn't tell me that then, because after you have something like that happens, stay with the company you would. Don't leave the company. If you have an accident, that's a nugget I can give you too. If you have an accident or something like that happens, like when you back into something and you got to report that stuff, stay with the company you would, and then finish that time, at least a year or a year and a half. But they told me that I had to, before I could get transferred to the dedicated, I had to drive for a year without any incidents, and so I had to do that. But I didn't end up staying that long. But my point is, if I was going to stay, then I would have had to do in order to drive to dedicated routes, I would have to not have any incidents. But I didn't come on here to knock either one of those companies. I just came on here to talk about what I heard and what I visually saw with my own eyes, that things have gotten less, and that's across the board. Like it's crazy how prices of everything can go up, but the price of everything can go up except for American people's pay. And I don't want to be preachy. I don't want to be preachy about it. It's just something that's on my mind. And that picture that you see, that's when I was in Lakeland. That's why I got my CDL in Lakeland. Career tech thing. For the people, for the trainers. A lot of them not there no more. Most of them not there no more. But I know for a fact, the ones that I spoke, I know what you call is there. And what is his name? Bobby. I think his name is Bobby. I think he's there. But the rest of them are gone. But yeah. So anyway, I don't see no comments. I see one comment, but it ain't worth mentioning. But just know for my future drivers, the ones that have ambitions of driving and want to drive, just know regardless of what the pay is, you're gonna have to do it, commit to doing, unless you know somebody that knows somebody that has their own truck, and they're gonna let you drive for them. Then you gotta put that time in to get on that. Even still, you still gotta have. They still want you to have a certain amount of time. So even if you do have somebody, even if you do have somebody that you can go with them and get the experience, but even if you do have somebody that can vouch for you and say, okay, well, yeah, you worked with me, you drove for me for a certain amount of time, you still have CDL a certain amount of years before they give you anything, before they give you any kind of, before the insurance says anything about whatever. So you still gotta have your CDL for a certain amount of years before they do that anyway, So those are little nuggets. You see the stuff, the thing. I put a picture up there, but those are little nuggets that I figured I'd come on and give. Like I gave those to those guys too, But it's great. It's great. Once you get them, it's a blessing to have. It's a blessing to have. But the only thing I would say is that, you can't say. I can say be careful. Be careful, even when you're in your own vehicle. But if you can avoid making a report and your car's fine, and the person if they hit you, if their car's fine, you fine, the damage is minimum, then with a city license, don't report it, because that's gonna stay on your record. That's gonna stay on your license too. And even though it wasn't your fault, somebody else was at fault, you're still the CDL holder, so it's still on you. So that's something to think about too. And I had to learn. I had to witness that, learn that the hard. I'm like, dang, I said that wasn't like. I'm thinking like, not for one, when it first happened, I had somebody ran into me, and in a commercial vehicle, and they say, well, you know, even though they ran into you, it's still an accident. I'm like, wowzers. So, but yeah, that's a little nugget. Even though it's not on you, not your fault, you still can well, not still, but you're liable. It's on you. It's your fault. As far as your CDL is concerned. Now your license don't really matter. But you know, you can file a motion and get a lawyer, whatever you want to do. But you know, at the same time, if you plan on like moving on and leaving the company you would, or if you plan on staying with the company you would, then it don't matter, because you tell them, hey, you know, give them the information about what happened, and they see it's not your fault, then it won't matter. But you know, at the same time, you don't want that on your record. So that's pretty much why I came on to clear up that stuff. Not clear it up, but talk about it. Saying, yeah, I'm kind of pissed off too. I'm kind of upset because you know, I feel like they're doing drivers dirty. Like people, drivers, these drivers. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the over the road drivers. I've been over the road, but these over the road drivers, they leave their families and be gone weeks at a time. And these companies don't want to take. I don't care if you just start or not. You know, if you're leaving, you wait for your family. Wait for your family for a certain amount of weeks. Your kids, maybe you don't have kids, or away from home, your parents, whatever. You're away from home for 3 to 4 weeks at a time, and they don't want to take care of you. It's sad. It's sad, and it's only gonna get worse. And that's the crazy thing about it. It's not getting any better. It's not getting it. Like I said earlier when I first started talking about this video, I said that when I started 6-7 years ago, it's been, I don't believe it's been that long, but yeah, almost 7 years. It's been 7 years. Almost 7 years. It's been six. It'll be 7 years in January. But when I started, it was 67 cents per mile. 63 cents, maybe between 63 cents. I don't want to lie, but it's more than what it is now. That's my point. It's like 10 cents, and that adds up. You might not say, oh, 10 cents ain't nothing, but 10 cents adds up. You know, and every quarter, every 3 months, every quarter you get every 3 months, every 90 days, you get a raise. You know, you get a raise. They give you a raise on, you know, the miles you drove and safety and all that kind of other stuff. So, you know, each time, every 90 days I got a raise, and it went up. But you know, you just have to decide. You just have to decide, is it something that you really want to do, and know that regardless of what they paying you, you're doing it for a particular reason. You're not doing it. Don't make it about the money. That's what I was saying. Don't make it about the money. Make it about, you know, what your plan is. You know, what you're gonna do once you put that time in. What you're gonna do afterwards. You know. And that's all I was saying. That's the advice I would give if I was giving it to myself. If I was giving it to myself, I would say get a good trainer. Make sure that when you decide to go over the road, make sure that you have a good mentor. A good mentor means everything. good mentors means everything. Somebody that just wants to get you in the truck and how you drive while they watch movies. Not very good. All they care about is getting them out because they're getting paid. If you're getting paid to train me, I think they should train you. That's my opinion. That's how I would say. If you're getting paid per mile, not only getting paid per mile, but you're getting paid for them to be in your truck too. They're getting paid for you to be in their truck too. So you're getting paid twice, right? They're getting paid twice. They're getting paid for you to be in the truck, and they get paid for every mile you drive. And then some of them, not I'm gonna say all, because you got some good trainers out there, some great trainers, not good, some great trainers out there, but all across the board. Whether, I don't care whether it's Nike, CRST, Pam, Warner, who else? What's the name? What was the top one? Like the name JB Hunt. Regardless of what company it is, they have some good trainers across the board, and they have some shitty ones too. Excuse my language, but they have some shitty ones too. So ones that don't give a damn about your CDL career, and it shouldn't be like. I don't see how they become mentors if they don't care. But some of them don't really care, especially if you meet them. If you meet them and you feel off, and you feel like the vibe is off, and you feel like they don't care, and they'll show you if they care or not by how they interact with you, or what they do in the first week you're there. If they don't show you certain things, if you don't start driving, and they don't start showing you how to back or do any backing within the first week, or even the first couple of days, then that's probably a training you shouldn't be with. It's probably a training you shouldn't be with. But yeah, I hope you all can use this advice. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to come on and chop it up, because like I said, it's good to see people decide that's something they really want to do and come out and do it. And so I offer my opinion and my advice. If they take it, fine. If they don't, that's fine too. And the same thing with me coming on here on YouTube. You take what I said. If you decide on driving, same thing else. You take everything takes time. Anything worth having takes time. You're not gonna hit a home run. Some people do, but you're not gonna hit a home run on the first time at bat. So if you keep going up, I use that analogy when I play baseball. You're not gonna hit a home run the first time you get up to the mound, and up to the plate rather, not to the mound, up to the plate, and hit a home run. But if you keep swinging, eventually, if you put in the time, and you watch the ball, and you practice, eventually you'll hit it over the fence. So that's it. That's all. You know what I mean? That's all I got. Y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. And like I always say, kiss them ones you love, because you never know you can kiss them again. Kiss somebody you love them, because you never know when you're gonna go. You never know when they're gonna go. Y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. I'll be singing. I'm out. Peace out.